All right, all right. We in here. So I'm gonna give people a little bit to get in here. Uh, oh, look at that. That's what that is. Gonna give people a little bit to get in here if they want to come. Today's topic is how she holds you accountable and the ways that she holds you accountable. It's not a popular topic because men don't necessarily like to look at women as holding them accountable, and I understand why. I mean, if you're in charge, how can someone hold you accountable? You're supposed to be holding them accountable. But we're going to discuss that today on the schedule. I might put out a regular video again today, like I normally would, um, because I didn't do a video yesterday. I was having what do you call it? An allergy fit. I don't know. I haven't really been anywhere. I mean, I went outside a few times, but sheesh, I guess the pollen count is high today or yesterday rather. But yeah, I had a little bit of allergy fit, and there's no way that I would have been able to do a video and um, make it through without sneezing a bunch of times. It would have been a ridiculous video. But when it comes to uh, my allergies, oof, when I have them, I have them. I have them definitely. But I took a Benadryl yesterday and I was out like a light. I was out. But here I am. Figured out, like I said, give you guys a live stream today to make up for yesterday. And I might get another video out today on a different topic, maybe a little bit similar, but it'll be something you haven't heard, I'm sure. So I'll give it a few minutes. I think maybe I should probably start going live more often, more regularly, because it seems like people like live interaction rather than to listen to videos most of the time. And I understand that because I found myself being in the same pool of, I guess you can say, liking to interact with the creator of the content versus having to leave a comment or something like that and maybe get it read like a few days later. Depending on the volume size of their content pool, you may not even get any feedback if you have a specific question or something like that. So definitely going live or being present for a live is a lot better than having to revisit content that has been previously produced without getting the opportunity to directly interact with the creator. So I definitely understand that. But let's see who shows up, if anybody. I'll give it like another minute or so. If nobody shows up, we'll continue on just as we usually do. But hope y'all liking the weather and all that. Weather's been pretty nice here in Colorado. Haven't had that much rain, little rain here and there. It's making my grass grow crazy, making my weeds grow crazy. So gotta mow that lawn a lot more often than I do. Just fine. Just whatever. Busy work, I guess. Upkeep, maintenance. What a day, what a day. I had a little free time, so I was like, I can do a live stream real quick. Go ahead and slide that on through. But anyway, we'll go ahead and start the topic. Today's topic will be about how she holds you accountable. Okay, so us as men, we are usually ones who think very linear. We think backwards and forwards. Um, And if you have any type of masculinity, you don't normally look at anyone to hold you accountable. You hold yourself accountable. You don't tend to even account if you should be held accountable unless you're in a power position. Then the accountability comes with it. But one thing that we discount about our interaction with women is that they have the ability to hold us accountable as well. Because when you interact with a woman, no matter what the exchange is, even if it's when you interact with anybody, um, there's different levels of power and accountability that comes with that. Because people, um, we are very social creatures, and in a social setting, we do exchanges. And people say, we exchange words, ideas, conversations, likes, dislikes. All that is, it boils down to power and accountability. And that may seem a little strange to put it in that kind of context, but I'm putting it in that kind of context to frame the overall setting of the topic. So just stick with me. The way that women hold us accountable, you may not uh you may not agree with it. But nonetheless, it's true. It's true. And how we define accountability is it's oftentimes very specific, but it is a very broad thing. It's not something that is just is either that or this, and there's nothing else. No, no. There's other levels of accountability in the broad spectrum of accountability. Um, because there's a broad spectrum of power and authority. These things come hand in hand. They have to balance each other out. So whenever you see that there's a level of power and authority, always look for that responsibility and accountability, because it's there somewhere. You just got to find it. And that brings me to how she holds you accountable. We oftentimes say in this community that you know you should handle a woman a certain way, and um you should see her in a certain light, and if she doesn't do this or that, and that's our accountability for her, meaning that we put structure up and she has to follow that structure, otherwise she doesn't get in. That's a level of accountability. But there's another thing that we don't talk about here, is we talk about sex all the time. I've heard many guys say that if a woman does not give me sex, then I don't take her serious. I understand. Or if a woman um, tends to uh, use sex as a tool to try to manipulate, you don't deal with her. I understand. But not often do men think about that she holds you accountable behind sex. I think men understand this, but we don't spell it out. We don't think about it in a step by step process, and that's what I come here to explain. We shouldn't take sex with women very lightly, because it's spoken about in pretty much every text involving humans, so it's a very common thing. It is part of the truth. But there is an underlying understanding of what that truth is, and not many people want to reach very deep. This is what people, when people say, I'm looking for somebody with a higher vibration that doesn't vibrate lower. I understand that, to the context of they look for someone who has a a better filtering system, a better way of looking at life, or a more specific way of looking at life in regards to the vibration that they give off, the things that they do, the things that they are willing to entertain, the things that make up who they are. Um, they want to operate on higher levels of that, and I understand that. And they usually view sex as a low vibration. Now you can up the vibrations of sex, um, due to your interaction that you have with someone. You can say, we're more intimate. We have a better understanding. We listen to each other. Those types of things up the levels of vibration. But sex is a powerful thing. And if there is power, there's accountability and responsibility. How women hold us accountable for sex, they do it in many different ways. Um, that's the main way that women hold us accountable, aside from the person that we claim to be and who we show to be. That's another way that women hold us accountable. But the more common way that men get held accountable by women is through sex. And it's kind of funny that a lot of people don't realize that. But I'm gonna tell you a few ways how a woman holds you accountable through sex. um have you ever dealt with a woman and you were kind of hesitant about having sex with her? I'm pretty sure. Or you understand what this woman is, and if she's not a decent enough woman, you kind of hesitate on having sex with her, even though she may be super attractive or she may have a nice demeanor or whatever. If she has some flaws about her that don't sit well with you, you'll hesitate on having sex. The reason why is because you intrinsically understand that there's some level of accountability that she can hold you to if you were to have sex with her. Now, this whole pump and dump and this whole hit it and quit it mentality, that's a way to try to get away from the accountability that you have to women behind sex. I totally understand it. I understand it. But the thing is, she's going to hold you accountable in some type of way. I was actually talking to my submissive yesterday about this, and we had about a 15-20 minute conversation about it because it just crossed my mind, um, that this is how women hold you accountable. Um, and I figured that I would come here and tell you guys about it. But, anyways, um, I was detailing to her the difference in things that happen. Like, I've dealt with a lot of women in my lifetime, and I've noticed that there was a significant change in their demeanor and how they carried themselves and the things that they say and the things that they did, the shit test that they gave, all that stuff changed after having sex. No one ever really questions why. They just say, well, she's a little different, or maybe this is a different echelon, or her emotions change. Not really. It's because she's now holding you accountable for sex, the sex that you have with her. This whole, like I said, this whole quit it, hit it and quit it mentality, that's what gets men in a lot of hot trouble with women. Um, Specifically, a woman's scorn is her accountability. No one ever thought about it that way. But a woman's scorn is the way that she tries to hold you accountable for having sex with her. I've had relationships with women that were strictly platonic. And if those relationships ended, even on a bad note, that woman never really tried to hold me accountable for anything. She didn't say, well, I feel this type of way, or how can you do this, or any of that scorn type of mentality that comes about it. She just said, okay, well, I guess we can't be friends, and moved on with her life or whatever, what have you. But when it came to the women that I actually had sex with, the difference in the breakups, or the distancing of us, was that she held me accountable. And for the longest time, I never really paid attention to that. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've never really paid attention to that. That's exactly what's happening when a woman does something, um, behind you, that she normally didn't do back in the day, back when y'all didn't have sex. Is because that's her way of showing you her accountability for you. um like I said, this comes in many different ways. You ever dealt with a woman who wanted to damage your stuff, or who wanted to pop your tires, or a movie that kind of reminds me of that, actually, now that I think about it, is the movie with Martin Lawrence in it. It's an old school uh 90s movie. I think it's called What's Love Got to Do with It, I believe. I don't remember. But he was a so-called player, and all these women that he was having sex with, he tried to juggle a whole bunch of them. They kind of a lot of them kind of reacted very poorly when they found out the truth, or he was confronted with circumstances that they didn't necessarily want to happen or agree with. They treated him very poorly. He treated him very, very poor. Yeah, Thin Line Between Love and Hate. That's what the name of it is. I couldn't remember it. They treated him very, very poorly um, because of that. Not many people paid attention to what was the dynamic. The dynamic was that he had sex with these women. There was no other woman who held him accountable in that movie who he didn't have sex with. Think about it. There was no other woman, and the accountability came in many different ways. It came with drama, it came with craziness, it came with all these other things that men kind of looked like, that's a real bad situation to be in. But that's exactly what's happening. So I would tell you, man, be careful on who you have sex with, because you could roll the dice on what kind of accountability that she wants to try to impose upon you for having sex with her. This has nothing to do, sure, there are men out there who's going to say, well, I don't have to deal with that if I don't want to. Well, there's a catch to that. So let's say that you made an agreement with a woman. Let's say y'all were friends with benefits, or there's no strings attached or whatever, and you said, okay, we'll have sex twice a week. It's my Google. Goodness. We'll have sex twice a week, and we'll go on about our day. We can hang out here and there. So long as you meet that requirement, there shouldn't necessarily be no disagreements that happen. But the minute a woman feels like she's not getting enough out of that, she can charge you more on that level of accountability. And how these women do that is they say, well, I kind of want to be in a relationship. Now she's trying to charge you more for the accountability behind you having sex with her. It's not right, I would say. But we can't expect a woman's emotions to be right. But she's going to try something. Now let's say that you don't agree to that, and she says, okay, fine. She's going to do something else to try to hold you accountable, whether it be going crazy, whether it be not dealing with you a certain way, whether it be trying to mess your life up. Regardless, think about it. If you never had sex with her, would that be the same circumstance? Could she hold you to a level of accountability still? No, she couldn't. She couldn't. The reason why is because there's no power that you gave her. The power exchange, the vibrations. When you have sex with a woman, you give her some level of power over you. And I'm not saying that she's above you, or that she is um uh better than you, or whatever. This is why you should be careful of who you have sex with, because you give them some level of authority and accountability over you. And what what we should look for are women who we can trust, that can handle that level of power authority and will not abuse it against you. This is the reason why we should vet women properly before we have sex with them, because we don't want to give that power and authority to the wrong type of person. um in this country, a lot of the laws are set up to um penalize you, as a male, if something happened between a relationship. This is how the whole domestic violence scope happened. When they are defining, in most states, when they are defining um, how to apply a domestic violence charge, if there's something to be had, even if she made it up, how they define it is if you're in a relationship, an intimate relationship with her. If y'all was just roommates, if y'all was just acquaintances, if y'all was anything less than people who would have sex, there's no domestic charge to be had in most states. Think about that. That is the power and authority that you are exchanging for sex. Think about that. So be careful who you have sex with. Be careful who you give that power and authority to, because these women out here, a lot of them, y'all know that they ain't right. Y'all know that they ain't right. Don't get yourself into a circumstance with a woman because you were lustful after her, because that can result in the problems that you experience. That can result in the baby mamas that you have that cause your life to be hell. That can result in the wives that you have that cause your life to be hell. That can result in any type of female form that you come across in regards to relationship that's past sex. You are rolling the dice if you did not vet that woman properly. So be careful. Here's another aspect of it that I said to my submissive as well. When let's think about the pimp game for a minute. Pimps and hoes, right? Um, when a woman goes out there and solicits herself, she's going to run across Johns, of course. The saying that we have is that, Johns pay women to leave. Essentially, what's happening in that exchange is that he's paying to be free of the accountability. That's all that's happening. He's paying the woman to be free of the accountability behind sex. So be certain that the woman that you deal with has the level of accountability or has the personality that can handle and output what you expect and what you want behind that level of a power and accountability that you give her. Because if not, you're going to end up in a bad situation most times. Be careful who don't. That's why I don't believe in the pump and dump culture. Pump and dump culture is, hit it and quit it. There's consequences behind that. That you can get a few stalkers behind that. You can get a couple tires popped behind that. Couple windows busted out behind that. Chicks. We view them as just going crazy for no reason. Nah, they was already crazy. It's just now that you gave them a way to hold accountability over your head, and she's going to put it through her little crazy lens, and that's what you get. So be careful who you deal with on that intimate level, or any intimate level for that matter, because you don't want to have this result in a circumstance and situation that is out of your control because you gave her that power to do that. So, anyways, if you guys don't have any questions, um, I'm going to cut this video, but that's my topic for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. I might be going. I was supposed to go live last week, but I ended up once again having an allergy fit for like a few days. I don't know what's been going on. It's a new season, I guess. It's changing from spring to summer gradually around here. So the pollen is getting a little crazy for me. But hopefully I can do more live streams in the future. I think that'll be more beneficial to me and the audience, the people who listen to me. I appreciate you guys for supporting my channel. I don't necessarily care about any money. Like I said, just like, comment, and share. Um, Make sure that you have your notifications turned on for my channel. That way, when I do go live, you guys can get the notification for it. You can show up. I know there were people in the past that were sad and troubled about not being able to be live for their channel, but make sure that you have your notifications turned on. And if they are turned on and you didn't get a notification for whatever reason, unsubscribe and then resubscribe again and then turn on a notification. That should fix it most times. I haven't seen a time where it doesn't work. But anyways, until next time, may you have a good day and peace be with you. This has been a Wolf and Beta Close, and I'm out of here.